episode, I'll be discussing life
Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, give me some
Decatur was born on
subscribers.
July 27th, 1982, in Los Angeles, California, to the parents of Glenda London and Arthur Decatur. He was one out of 7 siblings. His household growing up was described as broken. His mother did the best she could, and his father was absent. He lived in a home with his mother and siblings located on the west side of South Central. His mother was one of the few Caucasian people in the area. They were right in the heart of H.A. Hoover gang territory. The neighborhood that the H.A. Hoovers occupy has all the key ingredients for an urban nightmare. The scenery consists of high crime, drugs, joblessness, streetwalkers everywhere, decaying apartment buildings, and heavy gang warfare. It's unlike many West Side hoods that are more well kept and middle class. The Hoover section matches the poverty that is visible on the East Side. The Shady 80s could be argued as one of the most dangerous sections in LA County. In the H.A. Hoover's territory, the gang has the neighborhood in such a tight grip that the youth living there barely have a chance. The gang drafts them at a young age, as early as 11, 12 years old. Gangs like the Hoovers have many youngins on its roster. They are beneficial to the gang when it's time to carry out a high-risk mission, like shooting at a rival. Tiny Chip attended Manchester Elementary School. He was an intelligent kid who was creative and good with numbers. He had potential, but in the 5th grade, at the age of 11, he joined the H.A. Hoovers. The gang gave him the name Chipmonk because of his squeaky voice. As a full-fledged member, Tiny Chip made immediate contributions. As a youngin', he became frontline with all the activities. He patrolled up and down Hoover and Figueroa Street on his bike day and night, banging on anyone who was unfamiliar, and pulling guns out on people. But he wasn't only getting busy with a pistol. Tiny Chip loved to fight, and he had heart, fighting kids older and twice his size. He wasn't scared of taking a loss. Chip enjoyed playing basketball at their hood park on 88th and Hoover. By the age of 12, Chip officially knew how to steal cars with ease and would teach his friends how to do it. In 1995, Chip made an appearance in the show LAPD Life on the Beat. The scene started with crash officers looking for Chip and another kid from Main Street after they had both robbed someone of $25.
He's got the Main Street jacket.
She has the top of your head there, little man. Okay? She has the top of your head there, little man. Okay? Alright, you're just a little man, but you gotta do it.
That's what guys put all of this for.
We're checking you out, man. You dog, man.
Chill, that nigga's like 8, nigga.
Your dog been biting people? What do they call you, young man? What do they call you?
Chip.
Chip? What's this, dude? Go outside. You smoking the chronic?
No.
You got tattoos, Chip?
Yep.
The officers know that each of the gangs has a characteristic tattoo.
Right there.
What is all of this for?
What are you checking you out, man?
That ain't right.
No.
What ain't
I
right?
ain't wrong.
It's all good, man, right?
How old are you, young man?
Well, Dad. How many times are you asking this?
You're get yourself in trouble one of these days, aren't you?
All right, man. All right. I'm ready now. Tell him to go, stand by.
You know the young...
Chip was sent to Los Padrinos Juvenile Hall 3 weeks after he was released on August 26, 1995. Chip was on the block with a few friends. They were just hanging out. A car then drives past, and the rear passenger sticks a gun out the window and begins firing. Bullets sprayed the group, and Chip was hit multiple times. He died as a result of his injuries. He was only 12 years old. After Chipmonk's death, rumors began to float in the street that allegedly the UGs of the rolling 90s were behind the shooting. The Hoovers took Chip's death really hard.
I seen gangbangers die at 12 years old. My nigga Chipmonk, right? 3rd Street Hoover. 12 years old, it fucked me up. But it didn't change me though, it made me more angry.
And get back was mandatory. In the subsequent weeks that followed, a rash of shootings exploded down Western Avenue and reverted its way back to Hoover Street and down Fig. Tiny Chip had a few sisters. A few of them would unfortunately get caught in the life as well. On the morning of July 29th, 1998, Chip's sister Danielle Decatur was in a parked car with their sister Felicia and other Hoover gang members, including a man named DeMar. About 30 minutes prior, Teray, Curtis, and Donald were riding in a stolen car in Hoover territory looking for DeMar. They were members of the Playboy Hustler Crips, who were rivals to the Hoovers. They kept driving around until they finally found DeMar in their parked car. After passing the car once, they returned and stopped alongside DeMar's car. Someone then said, "Fuck Snoopers." All 3 men then opened fire on the occupants and drove away. Danielle Decatur was shot and died of her wounds. Another occupant was shot in the arm. and Felicia Decatur incurred injuries to her arm from shattered glass. Dumar left the scene unharmed. After the shooting, Teray, Curtis, and Ronald returned to the apartment of Curtis's then girlfriend Shantae, where they changed clothes. When Shantae later learned of Danielle's murder, she confronted Curtis, where he admitted that they had killed Danielle, and explained that they had intended to kill one of her male companions. Months later, after Curtis and Shantae broke up, Shantae eventually made an anonymous call to the police, in which she identified the three men as the perpetrators. They were each charged with first-degree murder. Teray and Curtis were eventually convicted, but the jury was unable to reach a verdict for Ronald. Felicia Decatur, who would survive the shooting that day, would get further mixed into the gang life. She would eventually be sentenced to do a stretch in the Arizona State Prison.
Damn.
Through her time, she fought to get back home and be reunited with her kids. Times got dark, but she kept fighting. Sadly, in 2015, she would pass away due to leukemia. She was 31 years old. The Decaturs that had fallen had made a significant imprint on the Hoovers, and their memory has not been forgotten. Eric Decatur's niece is currently one of the top writers for the H.A. Hoovers.